ประเทศไทยคือหนึ่งในประเทศที่มีคนไร้สัญชาติมากที่สุดแห่งหนึ่งของโลกแต่นี่อาจกลายเป็นเพียงอดีตแล้วครับเมื่อรัฐบาลไทยร่วมมือกับ UNHCR เร่งรัดแก้ปัญหาสัญชาติกว่า 500,000 คนและในวันนี้ TNN WORLD คือสื่อมวลชนไทยเจ้าแรกที่ได้รับเกียรติให้สัมภาษณ์คุณแทมมี่ชาร์ปผู้แทนข้าหลวงใหญ่ผู้ลี้ภัยแห่งสหประชาชาติคนใหม่ประจำประเทศไทย
First of all, welcome to Thailand, ma'am.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
As you started your leading role here in UNHCR Thailand, what are the prominent issues you found related to the UNHCR's mandate?
Many on that front, but let me start with the event today in the conference where we're located now and on the statelessness. And that one is where definitely we're very much looking forward to working very closely with the government and civil society and stateless people themselves to be able to assist the government as best as possible to be able to make and realize their very bold vision to really move towards eradicating statelessness here in Thailand. So that would be one of our top priorities. Another situation that is very much on of burning interest for us concerns the situation in Myanmar. Since the coup in February 2021, we have seen internal displacement inside the country grow by almost 10% from less than 300,000 to 3.5 million. The situation continues to deteriorate. There's gross human rights violations that are occurring, as well as violations against international humanitarian law. And those are situations where people need to be able to seek safety. And so being able to uphold the right to seek asylum is also very much in the forefront for us. We also have a protracted refugee situation here. The government of Thailand, Royal Government of Thailand, as well as the Thai people have been generously hosting people from Myanmar for close to 4 decades now. And we are very much trying to work and find a solution for these people so that they can cease to be a refugee, because you shouldn't be a refugee for life. We're also working very much with the government here, more in the urban context, for a range of people who come here for safety from more than 40 different countries, and working with the government to put in place a national screening mechanism.
Any particular focus that the United Nations High Commissioner has given you while entering this post in Thailand?
I would say one of the things that's foremost for UNHCR right now, as we just launched the Global Alliance to End Statelessness, is on the statelessness, and seeing this as a great opportunity to work with Thailand to not only address the matters here in country, but as it will also be setting a precedent for global practice and also here in the region on that area. So that is very much in his forefront of his objectives before he will be leaving office.
So let us discuss about the Royal Thai government's cabinet decision that allowing statelessness to have permanent residency and nationals. Some Thai nationals might disagree with this. Could you stress why we should end statelessness, especially here in Thailand?
I think it would be important for people to kind of imagine, what would it be like if I was stateless? What would it be like? I think myself included, sometimes we don't even appreciate what is the value of that, like that birth certificate. And what does that mean for us to be able to have a nationality, to be able to have a right to obtain a passport, a lot of times to be able to have a marriage certificate, a death certificate. If you don't have a nationality, and you may have the birth certificate, but no country may say, yes, you're a national of my country, depending on how their laws are, then you won't be able to move forward. And that doesn't allow you to reach your potential as an individual. So I would encourage people to really see it as from a human side, from the individual perspective, and to try and imagine themselves being without a nationality, to understand how much of a fundamental right that is. I think these are people who have a lot to contribute to Thailand. These are people that were born here, have been living here for many, many decades, and it will allow them to contribute to the social economic development of the country.
So the latest cabinet's resolution is indeed a great development. But what is your recommendation for Royal Thai government to enhance its protection and assistance for refugees, IDPs, and asylum seekers in Thailand?
I would make another point to make clear, because UNHCR does have a mandate, as is in our name, the United Nations Refugee Agency. We have a mandate for refugees, to protect refugees, to be able to uphold the right to seek asylum, and to help people also find a solution. We also have a mandate for statelessness, and that's to help stateless people cease to be stateless and to obtain a nationality. You can have situations where you have somebody who is a refugee and is stateless, but they don't necessarily come together. You have people who are stateless and you have people who are refugees, and they don't mix. So I think it's important not to conflate and to understand the 480,000 plus that the government is looking at resolving their lack of national identities, with 180,000 being for nationality and the remainder for a permanent residency that could lead to nationality. These are people that are completely distinct from the refugee populations here in the country on that front. So we look forward to working with the government to be able to help them, because these laws have been very much in place and they're just looking at how to make those laws more efficient, and we will be here to try and support them on that front.
And my last question is, as UNHCR in Thailand entering its 50th anniversary, what are the goals set to be advance your agency's work?
Yes, 2025 is going to be a very big year for UNHCR. It was in 1975 that UNHCR signed an agreement with the government for UNHCR to work and support the government here. It was in relation to a previous war in the Indochine situation, when you had people coming from Indochine, the neighboring countries, from Cambodia and Vietnam there. And I think it's an opportunity to look back and to thank the government, the Royal Thai government, as well as the people of Thailand, for so many decades being a generous host and offering refuge to people when they are in need. And some situations are able to be resolved. Unfortunately, with the Vietnamese and the Cambodians, you have peace in those countries. Now we're looking at the situation in Myanmar, and hopefully the situation in Myanmar will also be able to be peacefully resolved in the near future on that. So we will continue to work with the government to look at that situation. What's the best way to resolve that, to be able to treat people humanely when they're in need on that front, and also to look at it from a historical perspective, because in addition to us being here for 50 years, next year, the Operations Center for Displaced People within the Ministry of Interior will also turn 50 next year. And so it's an opportunity to look at some very long-standing and very close collaboration that we've been able to enjoy with the government over these 50 years.
Really appreciate your work, and thank you for the interview.
Thank you very much.
สถาพันธ์อยู่สุขและพัชรพงษ์พันธ์สวัสดิ์ภาพชวนุชดรุณพันธ์ตัดต่อณัฐนนท์เจริญชัยทีมข่าว TNN World รายงาน